What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Impel Ford Podcast. Oh, I wasn't even looking at the camera, y'all. Look, this is what I was doing, y'all. My co-host Rene said she could be here in a minute. So it's just me right now. Leon, the Impel Ford Podcast. It's Thursday. I know y'all ready to watch the game. Y'all tap in a little bit. Got a couple things to talk about. So while I'm waiting on her, I'm gonna bring this article up. Y'all bear with me. I just read she sent me something today about matter of fact. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read it from my phone. What's going on, y'all? It was let me see here. There she is.
Here I am.
There goes Renee.
You know, just a tad bit tardy.
I was just about to go ahead and put up the article, but what you doing? Working out?
I was, I be trying to do a lot.
And you do what I call you?
What?
What's your name?
What you mean?
Every set is your name. Every set.
I mean, it's insane.
Hey, look, do you got your camera? What you got? A camera on the side?
Why? Do I look crooked?
No, you're looking another way.
Oh.
There you go. Look that way. Boom.
Well, I got a lot going on too, because this is my office, so I got both of my phones going off. So
just look straight ahead.
It's just a little distracting. That's all. I feel a little discombobulated.
Why?
Because I got this, trying to rush to get this. Then I got my phone. Then I got my work phone. It's just being in my office. It's like you're still working.
Tripping.
You
are tripping. Tripping.
Yeah, I worked out. Then I had to run a UPS because I ordered a shelf. I had to drag the shelf out my car. It was heavy. I'm bringing in UPS, and the guy, why do men do this? The guy see I'm struggling, and he goes, "Oh, you can get your receipt and then carry it all the way to the back." I said, "To the back?" He was like, "Yeah."
That tells me something. You need a man.
Man, I left that. I said, "I'm gonna leave this right here. It's heavy." He was like, "That's fine." Yeah.
What you drinking?
This is water. In my cute little cup.
Hey, look. Hey, y'all on Facebook. Tap in on YouTube. We on YouTube Live right now. Tap in on Facebook, on YouTube Live. Hit the like, share, and subscribe.
Where Auntie at?
I'm about to cut y'all off in a minute. So come on to the other side. Put in your questions and comments.
Yeah.
My girl Renee just popped in. Every set is her name.
Not every set. Dang.
That's your name. Every set. I told you that's your name.
Oh my goodness. I just try to be a supporter of all things, and sometimes I just overexert myself.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Well,
look, so current events.
Oh gosh, there's so much going on today.
Donald J. Is it J. Trump?
I think so.
Yes. Somebody texted me today. My mama texted me and said he got found guilty of 34 charges. I didn't look it up. I didn't look it up yet because I don't really be.
What?
I get tired of that talk a lot.
Do you? Political talk or just talk about him?
Both.
Okay. That's understandable. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. But I say I get tired of it, but then I want to ask the question. I keep asking the question, where are we going with this blue, red, Democrat, Republican? Where are we going with this?
Independent. There's that. God. I was talking to a friend over the weekend. I went to go visit her really quick. We just catching up. And I was asking her because she was like, I'm really upset with Biden right now. And she has her own personal reasons. I respect it, right? Dealing with the wars and the genocides and all of those things.
And most
I don't
people,
get too involved with that because one, just kind of what I do where I work at, I don't, I have to stay away from those type of things, right? Um, but I hear a lot of people, Joe Biden didn't do anything for Black people, or he
right?
doesn't do anything for Black people, or he didn't do anything for Black people or for me.
Most people
So,
say most people do say he hasn't done anything for Black people.
but what did we ask him to do?
I don't know.
That's what I like. I asked my friend, what did you ask him to do something personally for you? Because I'm confused.
Somebody else said the same thing.
I want to know, did you ask him to do something personally? Did you pinpoint something? Did he promise something? Because he won based on deleting or removing school loans. And that's pretty much what he's doing. And rights for, Black people. I can't say he's down in the trenches and he's, as far as God, I just lost my train of thought.
Go ahead.
I guess releasing people from prison. I guess I just want to know, what did you ask this man to do personally for you?
Right.
And everybody I asked, no one can say anything. He did. What was his promise really to Black people besides school loans, more jobs? What else did he run his campaign on? Of course, being there for Black people, but it wasn't he didn't pinpoint anything specific and say, I'm going to give every Black person reparations. He didn't do that.
Well, my thing is this, and I ask these questions all the time. It's like every year, every election, it's like they need the Black vote.
They really do.
And how much, I know people say things have changed, and things has changed over the years.
Inflation, right?
I ain't talking about inflation. I'm just talking about for the Black people. Like what is really changing dramatically for us? Like over the years, we need the Black vote. We must vote because of this. We must vote because of that. If we don't vote this gonna happen.
I don't feel like it is. I feel like the ask is not of the president. The ask is of our state officials. So do we ask, what have our state officials done for Black people?
Yeah, and that's what people do. When I had Mayor Bill Bell on, and everybody says is states is the more important.
It is. It's the president doesn't have the power that we think he does. He has veto power, but he only gets so many per year.
Right.
You get what I mean? Like, if people really dig into the trenches of law, you only get so many per year. If that was the case, he would be vetoing. Trump would be vetoing everything, right? Not once. Right. You just said he's not going to do it. You've never heard him say, I'm going to veto this and I'm going to. He knows good and well you only get a certain amount of vetoes per year, right? And if that was the case, Biden would have been able to veto when they didn't pass this whole, $20,000 each person forgiveness for the school loans. He had to find another way to do it, right? He could have went over the Supreme Court's decision and all of those things. He couldn't. Women's rights and everything, it's up to the states. He doesn't have as much power as we think. And then everybody's like, the wars and everything. Yes, he can speak up. Yes, he can do all those things, but we have a person aside for that. Isn't that Kamala's job, or is it the what's the one show? And maybe I'm basing it off the show and not necessarily law.
You're looking at TV, getting TV mixed up with real life.
What's the Madame Secretary, or what's her name? Wasn't she the one who handled the public and political and United Nations and all the fairs and made sure the contracts and the partnerships and all of those? Remember, was it Madame Secretary, or it was somebody? It was some show. But anyway, I think, and this is only my opinion, Biden maintains the contracts that are set forth by his people, right? So it's just very hard for me to hear because I can't say Biden didn't do anything for me as a Black person because I didn't ask him to do anything for me.
Right. Me
Personally.
either.
I can't be mad at a man who I didn't, that's like me saying, hey, Leon, I'm gonna come to you, can you cut my hair on Friday? And you like, yeah, but then I come there and you don't show up. Now, I mean, I'm personal. I'm mad. You
Hey,
promised
stop looking over there. Look at me.
do it.
Look
Right?
at me. Look straight ahead.
I'm sorry. Anyway, so I'm mad because
Right.
I can be mad at you for that. And I know that's minuscule to everything else, but I don't know. Help me. Every time I ask that to somebody, no one can say anything.
Right.
There's Larry. Maybe Larry can ask. He brings such a great perspective.
No, we can't hear you, Larry. Tap in. Tune in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did get the mic situation. I gotta figure this whole thing out. Bear with me.
You'll get it.
I just finished painting my laundry room, and I told you I'm all over the place.
You've been painting your laundry room for 4 months.
Stay out my business. I'm redoing it all by myself. The electric, all of that. Unless any one of y'all want to come over and help, don't say nothing.
But look, we need to you gotta have a lot of friends. We need to get somebody on here. I know a couple people, but sometimes people hard.
I can definitely get some friends on. You didn't tell me.
No, I ain't talking about. I'm talking about as far as this government voting and the election and all that.
When Larry get on, because just and I truthfully,
I need somebody to talk some sense into me.
I try not to get into the trenches of that because I have employees of all genres, nationalities, and everything, and I don't want to say anything that's going to offend the two. So, I mean, it's not that I don't care. I still got to pay my bills at the end of the day. That's just what it is.
Larry, can you hear us?
He can hear us. We just can't hear you yet.
Log off and come back.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll wait for Larry to provide us some perspective because I feel like he knows, and he kind of stays in the know when it becomes of that. And plus, we need to get some broader opinion on this Trump situation. You being a felon at one point in time in your former life, how do you feel that he still is allowed the perks that you were not provided?
And
possibly still not being provided. But
I don't think a lot of people knew. I don't think a lot of people knew that he still can run for president with all these charges.
That's new.
And then
I think people don't know that it's because no one's ever done it. You get what I'm saying?
I guess so, yeah.
So it's something we probably just didn't even have to explore.
And then when you come out of prison, if you're still on parole, you can't even vote.
That's what I'm saying. So how do you feel, right? I'm sure at one point in your life, or probably if you were to even apply for a job, right? When you have to mark that box. And a lot of times that removes you from being even considered for that job. But this man is running for president. He's able to be in court and attend his son's, graduation and do all these other things that the normal day-to-day person with lesser charges would not be able to do.
Well, with me, when I came, I didn't know. I wasn't taking no for an answer. So
I like that.
I went there, I worked, I did throwing newspapers. I told you, so when I had that job at Car Drugs, the distribution center.
Yeah.
It was that question on there. It was a kind of tricky question. I told the guy, look, I got a felony. He's like, don't worry about it. Because by that time I had already been going to work, working every day. They liked the way I work. So when that little this guy, I forgot the guy's name, he had did a little article on, a little piece on me. And that's when they found out, the HR found out that I was a felony. That's when they're like, why didn't you tell us? I said, look, by this time the manager had got fired. So
oh wow.
Yeah, so they was like, why didn't you tell us about, I said, look, Eric told me I was good. But
that's all you need to know. Well, I mean, and I also feel like we've evolved too as a country where now jobs are more felony friendly. I mean, we got that from Allen, right? Costco. We know Costco's felony friendly.
Oh, it is?
I mean,
oh yes, right. Allen. Yeah, that's
listening to Allen's story. right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of probably companies who we don't know who was at one point in time wasn't felony friendly, who are,
Mm-hmm.
who is now.
Right.
Apparently, you can work for the federal government. That's that's a
Yeah.
thing. You can run for president.
That's crazy.
Can you be a part of Congress?
So you should be able to. Hey, man, you can run. Hey, look, if you can run for president, you should be able to do anything.
I mean, there's always caveats to everything, but I mean, that's you can't even work for the IRS with felons. So that's, I don't know, beyond me.
What's good,
Beyond.
y'all? Good.
Oh, now he's back. He's back. We can hear you now.
We can hear you, but you keep freezing.
Yeah, you're a little delayed, but
You keep going in and out of the freezer.
let me see. Say something.
What about now?
Okay. You get it. You get it.
You sound like AI.
Yeah.
Let's ask him the question.
About Trump.
So, the whole presidential situation. So, Leon and I were both discussing, when we hear Black people say President Biden hasn't done anything for Black people. What was his promise that he did not make?
He wasn't supposed to even make a promise.
Right. I mean, a lot of times when you're running for president, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did make a promise. Remember, he promised to remove student loan debt, right? That was what his driving factor was. I want to get rid of loan debt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he attempted. We all applied. If you say you didn't, you lying. Even I applied. But then it came, of course, it was Supreme Court said no. So he had to find another roundabout way to remove it. And he slowly has been doing it. We see that every day. New article comes that says he's, removed or forgiven billions, millions of dollars of debt. Right. I'm just trying to figure out what was the expectation
for Biden and the Black community.
Yes.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
But I hear it all the time. I'm sure if you're on social media, they'll be like, Biden didn't do anything for Black people. But no one has really said, what was he supposed to do?
I mean, they said the same thing about Obama, too.
Right. So what was he supposed to do?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not supposed to just come and just save everybody. For one thing, I mean, the Black community is just caught up in so much of everybody else's issues, but we're not taking care of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to start home first.
Very so.
It wasn't Obama's job to be like, I'm going to save all the Black people because, I'm a person of color that's now in the presidency of the United States. It wasn't his job.
Right.
Same thing with go ahead.
Now, I know you had this thing about the reparations, but I didn't like the fact that Obama, he didn't speak on it while he was in the White House. But some people say, well, he couldn't do that. He's president. Why can't he? Trump say anything he want to say.
I think because we've always held presidency as a higher standard, and we've been you feel like, you are put on this pedestal, right, where you're judged, criticized for everything that comes out of your mouth. So you try to play neutral as much as possible. And Trump kind of threw that out the window when he was president, right? He set the tone. To be honest, he set the tone to say, I don't really give a fuck. Say what you want. I'm the president. I do and say whatever.
Obama at least could have said we deserve it.
You know what Obama did?
Now, Larry had this discussion. Larry said he's one of those ones that said everybody don't need it. Or they should have some kind of program like they should disperse it.
Yeah. We're not in a time. The Black community is not in a mind frame to be gifted trillions of dollars, because we would just give it back because of just so much conditioning of us spending, like frivolous spending.
It would be like that meme where it says, if I won the lottery, you would know. And it was the car pushing the jet down the street.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. Reparations is amazing. There are so many other ethnic groups that are receiving reparations. It's just
I mean, there's black people in different states that are receiving reparations. California, that
okay.
family who the beach was stolen from, they received their, or was it, that was New York. Sorry, New York. There's a family where I want to say, was it?
It was something in California too, though.
I
It
thought
was
it was
California,
California.
but there was a beach area or some area in New York, New Jersey line where the water is, where the family received reparations from that area too. And then there was also California. So certain, but again, that's state level. That's not federal. That's state level.
Yeah. I mean, I think reparations is good, but it's about timing and planning.
Yeah.
And you can look back at a lot of black activists, and they'll a lot of them agree on the same thing. Like, we need real resources, not just money. We need like real policies, real laws. We need land. We need to have certain things that's going to give us a leg up, because money is just a tool. And there have been so many tools that have been held back from us that has caused us to not be anywhere near where we should be if it was on equal footing. You know what I mean? Like, even now.
But does that mean every black person would have to utilize this tool to get this money? Because say something like, I would say Leon is very fiscally responsible. I know that. Anybody who knows Leon knows, well, he better be, as much as education and stuff he's soak in on money.
Yeah.
Would he be one that could pass he doesn't need the tools? We're going to give him the money because we trust him to be fiscally responsible with $500,000.
Before you answer that,
go ahead.
Before you answer that question, I watched Dave Ramsey today.
Oh, goodness.
Go ahead, Larry.
Nah, man, everybody needs the tools. Everybody needs it. The problem is, you don't know how to use what you haven't been exposed to. You don't know what it is. And that's where we suffer a lot at. Because we get so distracted in a lot of other things in our communities. We have so many things for us to get distracted by. But the problem is, we're just so far behind the 8 ball that money is just not gonna cut it. We need so much more resources to even get where we're supposed to be at. I mean, just land alone is huge.
Land is, it's huge. I think, especially for people with families, I would say definitely people like me. Give me my money and let me ball out. I'm being Turks and Caicos on the island. I don't want no tools.
You one of the people he talking about right there.
No, I'm not looking for generational wealth and down the line. I'm looking for right now. I can't take it with me.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. In our community, we don't think 2, 3, and 4 generations down. Like, there is a lot of rich black people. A lot of rich.
There are tons of rich black people. I'm saying, like, for me with no kids, right? No responsibility. My sister and brothers who have kids and my nieces and nephews, if we all getting reparations, they getting the tools to be able to do whatever with their money, and hopefully they pass it down to their kids. Me, I'm about to be on secrets naked on the beach.
I hear what you're saying, but you're missing the point. Is, if you want generational wealth, doesn't mean it has to be in your family. Generational wealth means I'm trying to create something, a better
or leave a legacy or something. What if I don't want to? What if I just want my money and do whatever I want? I don't want generational. I don't want to leave my name, and what I do is going to be the legacy. They're going to remember me for being Rene, the person. And that's how I want to leave it.
Let me put it this way.
Forced to do something.
You're not wrong for doing that. The problem is, there's an overwhelming majority doing that. And it doesn't set us up as a whole. It's cool if one person is rich or one person is fine with the tools, but we're not all benefiting. You know what I mean? We're not all moving forward and progressing as a culture. Culture is regressing very much.
But that would be the same as receiving a paycheck, right? It's not like I'm getting my paycheck or we're getting our paycheck and we're, pouring it into the community and doing all the things.
Yeah.
We're making sure our home and our bills and the fruits of our labor is dispersed accordingly.
However, though, the difference between the reparations and a paycheck is the fact that something needs to be negotiated where there are specific programs where that money is allocated to. Everybody can buy in, everybody can pay into something that builds a better community.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to.
But Larry, you said something. You said it takes time and planning.
Yeah.
They didn't had enough time, and they should have been planning. They didn't have too much time.
Saying.
So what do? We just let it. We don't try.
Let me get on my jet and be okay. You can join me.
Now
you look at the other communities, the other cultures, and I really hate comparing, but this is.
But I feel like that's what we do when we look at putting stipulations on our people. We're comparing ourselves to other cultures and religions.
No, we need to compare our progress to other cultures and religions. Not how they live, but how are they thriving? We're not thriving. Okay, no. So put this way. This is where I take a lot of heat for this because I say that.
Oh, you didn't.
There's not really a such thing as Black American culture. And I say that because, for one thing, America struggles to have a culture itself because it's such a combination of different cultures. And so it would be tough to have Black Americans as a culture. And the reason why I say that is because if you really look at Black Americans has a combination of survival tactics, habits, and behaviors. It's always been that way. We're not thriving. We're not making steps that say, oh, we're going to build for the next generations. We're still in a survival type of culture. We don't build for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 generations.
That doesn't separate us from other religions and nationalities.
As far as what? As far as culture?
So that doesn't make us Black Americans because we're all,
No. We are Black Americans. I'm saying that we don't have it's more of a subculture, not a primary culture that we can say, hey, this is exactly who we are. Because there are so many things that we have been influenced by European culture, by, what is Black American culture? Is it barbecue, soul food? Is it church on Sundays and revival? Like, is that Black American culture? We've been doing that for so long. We haven't progressed.
It's a part of our culture. I think there's other cultures or, people that do similar things. We just don't hear about it enough because they don't talk about family and things that they did growing up, bringing the families together and pouring into their community. You don't hear, I'm going to say Europeans, you don't hear about them, cookouts and family reunions and getting together and doing all of them. You don't really hear that. You don't really hear that.
And the thing is that they can trace their culture back thousands of years. They can trace their culture.
Right.
They can go back to the traditional standards that wasn't barbecue or.
So let me be clear.
So we created it.
You're saying, which I've heard people say this.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, you're saying that Black Americans don't have culture. You're not the only one I've heard say that.
I have a primary culture, man. That is us. That's ours. We have a collection of like survival tech, even in soul food. Like being raised off of the scrap that's where soul food came from. That's not healthy though. That's not healthy for us.
To a point, because I'm not really a huge soul food eater, so I can understand. And a lot of times I do joke. My mom walks so I can run. And I'm not eating that. But I think that also creates a bond within our culture to understand it, right? So now creates a bond and family gatherings, love is something, it's a relatable thing in which we do as Black people. The same as white people may eat, steak tartare. And remember their grandmother used to make that growing up, and that's what they love.
And you're right. There's nothing wrong with that. That is representing and respecting the gathering. I would put it, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But relegating us to just what we've done the last 400 years here in America it's a hard sell. It's not really,
I
it's a
don't know.
hard sell.
I'm still in agreement with give me my money and let me go. Let me ball out. Till
she ain't trying to hear it.
Okay,
no,
look
but
at it this way.
speaking
Don't
of
like
this,
your theory, Larry.
no, but
Look at
speaking
it
of
this way.
this, I think one of the main things when we were talking about Obama,
Yeah.
I think where the hatred drove towards him, no matter, they saw him, he's black, he is married to a beautiful black woman, has a beautiful black family. When he lost people, when he made the comment about Trayvon Martin and he said that could have been my son.
Okay.
I feel
so what do you mean exactly like he lost people?
Meaning that, there were some woke white people, right? There was a lot of people on board with Obama. There was, he even had some of the Republicans on board with him at some point. But when the whole Trayvon Martin situation happened and he made that speech and he said, Trayvon Martin looks like me, right? Trayvon Martin could have been my nephew. Trayvon Martin could have been my son. That's when it was like, oh, whoa, he racist. He's taking that family side. Because he stayed so Switzerland throughout, right? And he made his promise. And I'm a black man, but I'm for everybody. That happened.
Yeah.
See, they was like, oh, no.
Okay. Well, let me look at it. Let me explain it this way. So, Black Americans, we have this thing called a Black experience, and that's where you can take any Black person, presumably, and drop them in any situation like a fish out of water, and you can get full Black experience. That's why you have Black people who can go and join somebody's Mexican cookout and enjoy themselves, so they can go 100%. To some. The problem is, we don't own the Black experience. We don't get paid off the Black experience. The rest of the world gets paid off of that. That's the rest of the world who wants to. You know what they say? They love our rhythm and our blues, but they don't want our blues.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't, and I think partly because we never charged for it. It's always been something where we had to keep sacred amongst ourselves from years on till now. You know what I mean?
It's not even just that. It's the fact that for every other culture that is non-Black American, they can tap out and they can go back to their culture. So that's why we can't do that. We are who we are. And everybody admires us until it gets to a point like Obama, when he say something they don't like, then it's like, ooh, I don't like that. Let me get back to my culture over here.
100%. You notice the following year after that, Trump was in office after he made that comment.
Well, it was going to be a hard sell for them to put Hillary in there too, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like that was. You can go back and read the articles. He said that people who were on, other, cultures and everything that was on board with him, it looked to him that he was siding.
Yeah.
Was siding with the Black people, and he was showing his true Black colors, and he had been fronting all those years. You get what I mean? And so to me, that's where he fell short. But I think he was at a time where he was dead serious, and he was just like, I'm running. This is my second term. I don't care. I'm not running a third, so I'm gonna say what I want to say.
So you think he was about to show his true colors?
I think that was the part of him, like, kind of like, I'm not gonna run again. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it. I think he was partly upset, right? And again, where we say he doesn't do anything for Black people, Obama couldn't interfere with that. That was a jury. That was a trial, right? Yeah. That was a jury trial. He couldn't overturn. That went to the Supreme Court. He could not overturn that verdict, that Trayvon Martin verdict, right?
Yeah.
But he can speak on it. And what he did was, after he spoke on it, he was deemed racist amongst other cultures and people, not just the whites, but it was because he didn't speak on any issues happening with, other cultures and different things that happen around the world. He finally broke down and got relaxed. And in his speech, when he made that comment, it was like, all gloves are off. You're never getting hired.
Exactly.
He stayed so rent-free in other people's heads, Trump couldn't stop talking about him. Till this day. I mean, today he was talking about Michelle Obama. That woman ain't said nothing to you.
You said today?
Today, Trump.
He said something about Michelle Obama?
Yes, when he was
I don't watch the news at all.
When he was talking about the verdict was rigged or they're gonna come back, and not that this was prior to the verdict. He was like, and Michelle Obama is gonna agree, and she's gonna come back and say something. It's like this woman ain't said nothing about you.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton crip walking. You know what I'm saying? Because you talked about her the whole time. She's never been convicted. But the Obamas still live in his head. And they haven't spoken on the trial. They haven't made no public announcements. They haven't did no letters. They haven't had their publicists come out and say anything. But they still live rent free in that man's head. And it's crazy. He thinks Michelle Obama was part of, his the reasoning why he was at trial and doing all these things because it was rigged.
Look, I'm not even want to get on the far right side. How they do have a wild list of allegations of all kind of stuff that doesn't make sense. And it's not even my job to make sense of it. It just, I don't even pick a side.
Where do this far right and far left thing come from? Can I explain that?
Okay, from my perspective, I mean, even since Trump's presidency, like it's like the far side, which is the GOP party, Republican Party. It's actually like almost two sides of them now. It's like you have your old school traditional Republicans, and then you have the party of Trump. Like it's just those two sides on the far right now, and then of course left sides is mostly Democratic and more liberal.
A lot of independents.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because we didn't hear about it until Trump was in office. Like the far left, the far right, the far left, or I mean, it was not even brought up. And I'm talking years, because when my mom was alive, she was all for it. Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Coalition, and she was there and placing calls and walking the streets and doing all the things.
Right.
It was never like to this point where it's like, oh, the far left is trying to lock me up.
It's extreme.
You didn't hear that.
Do y'all think Trump is getting locked up though?
I doubt it.
No, but he's just gonna have a hefty fine. But it's not fair because he should be treated on the same scale as other people with the same that are probably in jail for less, to be honest.
That's true.
Okay. So it's not fair.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think the crime. I don't think the punishment will fit the crime.
I mean, it's two different Americas. There's the power and influence side, and then there's everybody else.
Right.
I
worry about the judge. I do worry about the judge in this case, not for Trump, but for his people, because they're out of control. They're really out of control, and I feel for the judge's safety because they keep putting things on the judge. It's the jury. It's the jury who made the decision.
Hey, Larry, she brought up, matter of fact, speaking of the jury, she brought up something last week when we was talking about jury duty. She said if you got a letter saying you need to be at jury duty, would you go?
Yeah, I got one like 2 months ago.
Okay. She had a big problem with people who don't.
I have an issue with people who don't attend jury duty.
Like what?
I have an issue, especially because one, it's your civic duty. And I like them. Two, I feel like you cannot, if you don't choose to go to jury duty, right? You should not be speaking on any unfair treatments, any unfair trials, anything of that nature, because you voided that privilege when you chose not to attend jury duty, especially in your city, state where you live. I don't even want to listen to you. Don't text me, don't call me, don't do nothing. It's your civic duty, right? We have people in jail right now who should not be in there, right? Wrongfully convicted. Why wouldn't you want to be able to be a part of that jury who was able to look at all of the evidence and make a very informed decision.
That's tough. That's tough. Now you are putting a lot of moral obligation and opinions involved.
Because I feel like as if you're selected for to be a juror,
yeah,
you should.
I hear you. I hear you.
I was telling Leon, you should want somebody if you were being convicted of a crime.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the Diddy crime, right?
Yeah.
Situation. And I said, some people said, oh, it's a open and shut case. I said, no, because everybody has the right to due process.
True.
I'm gonna look at all the facts. I'm not gonna, it's open and shut. It's not. I need to look at all of the facts, the evidence, exhibits, everything. And I told Leon, you should want somebody like me on the team, because if you want somebody that's open and shut,
I told her she's seen the evidence with that tape.
No,
her things were like this. She was saying that, say for instance, they wanted to give him. She said, I think you might have said life.
Right. No.
A crazy amount of time for something like that. What he did, when he deserved time, but not that much.
I wouldn't give him life for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving an example. Like he was saying.
How would you feel? I didn't see the full video. I just saw some, but I still don't think it warrants life.
Elevator video. Some of the elevator.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. Does it warrant life?
No, definitely not worth no life. But that was just an example. Okay, scratch the life. Say like.
Then he was saying like somebody got shot
years.
Or something like that. I have to look at all the evidence. I don't want to just say, if people just said yes, it would be so many people in jail. It would probably be me in jail. We would all be in jail right now if everything was just open and shut.
You got to look at the fact though, like he has a history of reported incidents.
Right. Mm-hmm. And those are things I would look at as a juror if the evidence was there. Right. I can base it off of social media in the shade room. I need to look at all of the evidence that the judge allowed to be in evidence, right? When you go and they say, well, I have this video, and that, of course, their defense is going to say, no. The judge will say, I'll allow it. So I will look at all of the evidence that is in front of me. If it's all bad, then of course he's going to get the conviction, but he's not going to get life because somebody says, oh, he deserves life for pulling her. No, I'm going to go through the appropriate things, and it may not want life. It may want 5 to 10 years.
That makes sense. I mean, as far as that's as far as you can go as a civic duty as a juror, is to look at all the evidence and just try to think, objectively and not be biased, be not completely unbiased. And you're right. I got that. So give a letter in the mail that says, hey, you report to jury duty.
100%. I'm calling in the night before. I might call in the morning. If they told me no at night, I'm gonna call in the morning, double check to see if they changed their mind.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Hey, look, I'm feeling deja vu or something. I'm getting tired of all this jury convicted felon talk.
You get triggered. You get triggered a little bit.
Getting triggered.
Oh, man. Be careful.
Let's talk about this. North Carolina has 5 of the most overpriced housing markets in the U.S.
That's insane.
That's crazy. This ain't North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Durham is listed in that 5. Durham and Raleigh.
Charlotte, Durham, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Raleigh.
You got to look at it though. Like within the last 5-10 years, so many people are migrating to North Carolina because it was cheaper housing for more land. You get so much more for your money, so much more value. And now we're getting to a point where it's peaking, and it's going to happen eventually. A lot of the homeowners and investors are going to see that and be like, oh, we need to raise the price a little bit because the influx of people are coming in by the troves, more and more every year. I know so many people who came from New York down here.
Oh yeah.
Because before North Carolina, it was Florida. Everybody was going to Florida to retire. Mm-hmm. Down here, especially in the Tri area, is just so much more opportunity wise. It's becoming close to Atlanta and Charlotte. So you have so much more opportunity wise, job wise, and things like that.
It's so crazy. I remember when I first moved here, people were like, "Oh, don't move to Durham. You're going to get shot."
Ooh.
Like, what?
I never heard that.
What? You're going to die. You moved to Durham.
That's crazy.
Because I'm like, I wanted to move. I was working near RTP, so I wanted to live closer to, I'm not a commuter, so I want to live close. So I was looking, RTP near Durham, whatever. Don't move there. You're going to die. People get shot and killed every day there. I mean, they do in Chicago and every other city. We see that.
Right.
But it's so crazy that the people who were saying that to me, now it's like, man, I wish I would have bought my house in Durham when you bought yours. Now you can't afford to live here at an area you would don't move here.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I want to see, can I move this up?
Yeah. Do you think because of articles like this, will that harm our growth process? I mean, we have room to definitely expand our infrastructure, in which we've been doing.
Well, I mean, that's going to be the issue because traffic is the problem. I'm starting to see that more.
Oh,
and
yeah.
more.
Oh, yeah.
I can't pull it up, but it says Charlotte ranked number 10. Said average price is $380,000. Expected price $280,000.
For a basic home.
Yeah. Durham 410. They ranked number 19. Greensboro.
Oh, that's crazy to hear Durham at 410, right?
Yeah, Greensboro 251,000. And Raleigh 443,000.
But you also got to understand, like the areas that we're in has prestigious names, like the schools, the hospitals, like Duke Hospital, and then you got the schools that come along with that. UNC has one of the best hospitals. Duke is the best hospital in North Carolina, and so there's opportunity to come out here, like academic wise, and professional, just in general.
Oh yeah.
And plus, before housing market is going up, it was also one of the cheapest places.
It was.
To come down here, settle down, raise your family, and like spread your roots.
But what pushed it up too is people moving from upstate, coming down here because it's cheaper, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna raise these up.
I know. I'm so happy I bought my house in when I bought my house, 2011. 2011. Because people who purchased in 2021, 2022, my goodness.
But that's the natural order of it, though. Eventually, it was gonna get it.
It was, but I feel like it just jumped. You know what I mean? There was no it was nothing. It was like
no gradual steps. No gradual steps.
No gradual steps. It just here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because the other major states between New York and California are just ridiculous with just housing in general. You're talking like getting studio apartments for like $4,200 type of thing,
Yeah. How do you feel about the growth of downtown Durham and surrounding areas with so many subdivisions being created and so many businesses, and how do you guys feel about that?
Hold on, before you answer. I was watching Dave Ramsey today.
Oh,
this guy called in. He said he was in California.
Man,
$2,400 for a 2-bedroom.
Oh yeah, that's downtown Durham.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's cheap in California.
That's cheap.
That's cheap in California.
Yeah.
For 2 bedrooms.
But it's still like that's cheap in California.
Right, that's cheap in California, especially depending on the area.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's downtown Durham now. They got $1 million townhomes in Durham.
Yeah, downtown it's getting busy down there. I like it though. I like the things they're doing. I like the way it's looking.
The growth. There's been a lot of controversy about the growth of downtown Durham and the many distilleries and breweries that are popping up everywhere. How do you guys feel about? I love the growth. I come from a metro city. So being able to, easily get to downtown Durham, parking's free depending on what time you go. You can go down there, enjoy yourself. I feel safe, when I'm down there. I love it. Most people don't. They feel like, people are being, let's get on that, people are being kicked out of their homes or priced out of their homes
Right.
for, newer construction, or the homes are being torn down, or the area is turning more commercial than residential. How do you guys feel about that? I know Larry got some strong opinions since, Black America.
When you say kicked out, are they giving them money for it? Or
I mean, they're giving them they're being offered money, but to someone who doesn't have the tools, as my good brother Larry would say, probably would, take the money, not knowing that they are worth more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But because they don't have the tools, they're accepting what they're getting
offered. Right.
That's true. I mean, that's always been a struggle in our community too. Like, don't go sell grandmama's house. That's been one of the things. But the problem is, a lot of the younger generation hasn't had that knowledge of inheriting property and learning how to manage it. So
some of them don't even want it, to be honest.
That's true. Yeah, that is really true. My neighborhood back in South Carolina, I can drive through there now, and there's a lot of vacant houses because it was more of it was my grandmother's. Where my grandmother's house was, it was more of an older senior citizens type of neighborhood. A lot of the houses are vacant now because that generation is gone, and the grandkids never stepped up and took over those houses. And it's like you can see that all across the country, though. And so it's a problem as far as learning the mentality of what generational wealth actually looks for. The problem is we look at generational wealth as strictly monetary.
Yes.
That is the problem. That's the problem. Like, we don't look at, hey, I need to pass down this information as being generational wealth. I need to pass down, how we handle things and move as a family so we can thrive as generational wealth. It's too much. We simplify it so much that it's becoming detrimental.
And then
also, grandma's house don't look like what they see on Instagram and social media, right? Because grandma didn't do really too many updates to the house, right? And a lot of people don't have the vision to say, well, I can turn this into something. But the Instagram, TikTok shows me turnkey.
Yeah.
Turnkey. Yeah. I'm not putting energy into that. I'm gonna sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And that's as far as what you said about information. Once you get the information, you got to know what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, you got to act on it. You got to act on it.
You got to be able to trust the person, because not all people that are giving you tools can be trustworthy. They could be giving you tools to snatch it up from under you.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard Dr. Umar say that a lot. Like, we do have grandparents who work hard to buy their properties, buy their houses, but it didn't work hard enough to pass down how to maintain it.
Or it wasn't in a will. It wasn't in a will. It wasn't in, people don't want to pay for probate too long.
Yeah.
And
like, we don't even look at just simple life insurance as generational wealth. Like, you can have so many, you can have so much of your money tied in life insurance that can last generations. You don't even. I heard Dr. Henry Clark. Was it Henry Clark? He said something that stuck with me. He said, we are a very, very ceremonious people, but we don't have substance. And that always stuck with me, because we celebrate so many things. But if you just peel back the first couple of layers and you realize it doesn't go as deep as it's supposed to, as it should. That's the problem. We got to stop worried about trying to buy some Jordans, man. Put that money into some property, some stocks. Like,
man,
a lot of people try, and I see it, right? I see a lot of people try and they want to do so. But again, we have so much information being filtered and thrown out to us. It's hard to decipher what is right and what is wrong, right? You have your Dave Ramseys. You have people under Dave Ramsey that may not, believe in everything that he has, but he wants to be more relatable to the culture and to the younger people. Then you have, your pastors. Then you have your YouTube University professors, and you can buy a house just by buying the taxes, or you can go get a house from the HOA. That is all the way 100% true. And if you know, you know. But there's so many different factors that are playing now with social media being at our fingertips. I think a lot of times it's information overload, and
Yeah, it
you
is.
get so caught up with trying to get a business, get a repair loan, a loan to repair grandma's house. But in the midst of that, somebody's saying, well, you don't have to pay that until the house is 90 to 95% complete. Let me show you how. Then you
Right.
apply for that. Then it's like, well, let me tell you how to get a tax abatement, even though there's no tax abatement to you. But that person lives in Switzerland, but you don't know that in North Carolina. You watching the video, trying to do whatever. In the midst of that, you trying to work. But let me tell you how to not pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You gotta once you look at all that stuff, you have to first you have to have the right circle of people around you.
Right. You got to decipher it, but I've
And-
already took out the repair loan.
Right. But that's the
So
thing.
now,
Once you can't look at all this and just start doing all what you just said. You gotta ask more questions.
you would
Have the
hope
right
so,
people
but
around you
people using
before you act
TikTok
on this stuff.
University. They
Right.
got Instagram, professors and gurus, and let me tell you how to scam and get PPP loans in a Porsche and grandma's house and your neighbor's house. You got YouTube University telling you how to, not pay child support and get your credit right and all this other stuff. Tools, but I just feel like right now is so information overload. You will get these young people are ended up with loans. Then they owe in Amazon for digital products that they ain't got no digital products to sell, but somebody told them to just click on this button. They get a PPP loan, but with no employees, scared because they already spent the money and they just waiting for the feds to come.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You just got to a lot of that
Then you
stuff.
took out a HELOC, and now you don't know what to do.
So once again, this was on Dave Ramsey today.
Mhm.
It was somebody talking about out of state property they had, and the guy asked them, of course they always talking about what you were just saying. You see this on YouTube, you see this on TikTok, and then you went and did it, and now you're in trouble. But that's one of those things where it works. She had property in Alabama. She was in another state, and the guy asked her, why did you go get all this property in another state somewhere you're not close to?
Right.
People do it all the time. You just got to
They
know
do.
what you're doing when you do
But
it. You can't
a
just
lot
jump
of people who do that have the resources to move back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you had the resources, you wouldn't be on damn Dave Ramsey trying to figure out what to do with these houses in a different state.
Right.
Most people who do that will fly to that state 2 to 3 times to ensure that things are being built, things are on its way, there's no crime, everything is fixed. I have the correct renters. They have the tools and the resources to be able to do that.
And it's also some people that never see the property in other states, but they still thrive because they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, but also again, they have the resources that they're not telling you about to do so. They will say, property, bought the property sight unseen. They're not telling you behind the scenes that they're flying there, hoping and praying that there's no electrical issues, HVAC issues. They don't have to replace the roof or the windows. They're not giving you that in that 45 second.
Yeah, you got to buy a course. You got to buy a course to get all that information.
But you know what I mean? So it's like all of those electrical issues and everything that's going on, they're not telling you that. They're not saying, I got money to fly to, Wilbur Coochie, Alabama, and I bought this 75 acres. They're not telling you how to maintain it, how they maintain it.
Yeah, you're right. I 100% agree with y'all. 100%.
Right.
There's a lot of salesmen out there.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's why I said, like, it can get a lot of confusing to our people when, grandma's leaving the home, or grandma may not have a will. A lot of people don't know. Your will, you can do a video right now. How people do reels and all this, you can get your parents and your mom, and you can do a video right now. And that can be a will. And she can say explicit, this is what I want to do. You can save that type stamps. She's on there. She's not being coerced. All of those things. And that can be your will. She can write it on a piece of tissue. That can be your will.
This is why I struggle with a lot of things, because it's not, the Black community is exhausted, like from every angle,
Mhm.
internally and externally. But there are so many things for us to put into, that we need to put into place, like life insurance and doing a will and things like that. We have so many stigmas to beat to get ourselves out of like mud and into a point where we're moving good as a whole, as a culture.
Mhm.
And that's where I struggle, because I see so much resistance towards it.
Yeah.
I
No,
see
I
so
get it.
much, like, you could be, there are so many like well-educated Black men and women trying to do their thing, and then they go back to their homes and they go back to their hometowns and try to contribute. But then
Mhm.
you have people in their hometowns that treat them worse than dirt. And it's like, that's why a lot of Black people don't go back once they make it out.
That is very true.
So many
Also,
stigmas.
there's memories there. There's triggering memories there that you just I may
Yeah.
not want that house or be in that community because it just represents something
Yeah.
in a time in my life that I just no.
Agreed. I agree. I
No,
agree.
what's so crazy is I never thought to go back home to Portland, Oregon and buy one of the houses I grew up in.
Really?
But then again, it's
Already
just
gone.
that's too much for me anyway. That's too much responsibility on my end that I don't, in my soft girl life right now that I'm, trying to get to. I just don't want that. It's
Are they
not for
the house is still there? The ones you talking about?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Two of them.
Somebody living?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's been updated, remodeled, and all the things, but it's never crossed my mind to say, hey, go back to Oregon and purchase that house.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about going back to my hometown and buying some houses. One of my homeboys in the same neighborhood I grew up in, like, his dad was putting things in place to, like, the same thing that we're talking about now, like his family was putting in place, like buying up properties and understanding life insurance. The same things, like, and this is what other cultures do, specifically a lot of white cultures, because they maintain things inside the family.
They do.
Good
They
things.
You are 100% right.
There is a I don't know, just a familial knowledge that says, hey, this is grandma's house, this is great grandma's house, this is granddad's house. Like, it's all, they've always known it to be there, and they grow up learning how to maintain that stuff. But my homeboy back in my hometown, his dad bought like 4 or 5 houses in the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing him the same exact thing that we're talking about now. So it can be done.
It can be done.
The issue is doing it on a grand scale. That's the problem. I think that's where we struggle.
I think we
Like,
struggle
Oh,
with
most
trust.
definitely.
We
yeah,
struggle with trust.
yeah,
You said
we're
what?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say, Renee?
We struggle with trust.
Trust. Oh yeah.
that's a
We
big one.
Well, then, like you said, too, is the education. Like,
It is education, but it's
we
also
started learning real late.
it's trust when dealing with money, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So many people getting over, or you have that issue from your friend, family member, even your parents borrow money and never gave it back, right? So we carry that with us.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
we carry that with us.
And that sound like that was personal.
I had to come with the conclusion, the mind frame of, you know, I'm gonna loan you this, but I'm loaning it with the expectation that I'm not getting it back, right?
right.
But I'll never loan money to you again. Then I'll never loan money to you again comes with I'm never loaning money ever again,
Mm-hmm.
and it sticks with you, right? So then you have that friend that says, "Let's buy a business." Everybody pitch in 5,000. You going
Yeah,
back? You going? You going back to damn. If I put my money in, am I gonna get it back or whatever? I come with the afterthought is my money last one in, first one out.
right.
That's
Okay.
just what it is.
That's
But
why you got to have that right tight circle. You got to have people
you
around
do,
you or be
but
around
it's
people that
still
you
gonna
know.
be you're in your back of your mind. I don't care who it is, in the back of your mind, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be praying, I hope this works. I hope I see some return on my investment. even though it may be 5 years down the line, but year one, you're going to be sweating like, okay, I don't see it. I know it's supposed to come, but I don't see it yet. Are we ever going to see it? Are we, it's,
Well, that's the other thing that we struggle with in our communities, that we don't pool our money together.
we don't, because trust, right?
Yeah.
But we'll pull our money together for Super Bowl or
Yeah, we tried.
Or to get a VIP section.
We tried during the pandemic where they had that little thing where you put $50 in, and what was it?
Was it a parlay or bingo or something? I don't know.
No, it was that thing where people was like, I forgot what they called it, but
what was it? I heard it, but
people was getting you to sign up. Oh, I forgot what it called. You put $50 in.
Oh, then people are in jail. Then people are currently being
go around a circle. You might get the 500 the next, and then
those people, and they were church people, and I think they're in Texas. They're being convicted for fraud or like pyramid scheme with that. But again, I know I've invested in pyramid schemes at one point in my life with hopes that I would see a return. We do that, but I think giving money on a large scale where some people may have to go to their 401k, get a loan. That's a huge stress factor, right? Especially within our community.
What you could consider a pyramid scheme? What was a pyramid scheme?
Is me putting money into a pot and you telling me I need to get 5 of my friends to put money to give me money to put the money in the pot, and they got
it depends. It depends on what is.
And
it depends on what you're
talking
about, or what it is.
The amount of money gets me to the next level in the pot, but I still ain't want no money. But I got other people getting money, and they getting other people, and they getting other people, but I ain't got no money.
But so you're not talking about multi-level marketing. You're not talking about.
I mean, that is multi-level marketing.
But see, that's the thing. All of it is not pyramid scheme.
Well, if you promise me, if I get 5 people to contribute $20 after I put my $50 in, and you say I'm gonna get $100, as soon as I get the 5 or 10 people, and I don't get no $100, but I move to gold level from silver to gold, that's a pyramid scheme. You're burning it.
I'm saying that because Herbalife, right? When I was
a pyramid scheme, but I supported you.
Herbalife is not a pyramid scheme.
Please,
it is not. I'm gonna tell you why.
Please. Look at Larry. And I was up.
Listen. When I got into Herbalife, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's you still have to do work, regardless of what you get into, right?
It doesn't matter.
It's not a pyramid scheme.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If I would have continued to continue on with Herbalife myself, personally, to do what I was doing, when I got in Herbalife, I was doing pretty good. For me just starting in Herbalife.
You like quick money.
But I stopped.
Why you stopped? Because I stopped buying it from you?
Yep, because you stopped buying. Nah, that ain't why I stopped. And I still had people, even when I stopped, I still had people buying from my site.
I mean, it was a great product, but in order to move to the next level, you had to not only sell a certain amount, but you had to get people under you.
But it still worked though. It's not a pyramid. It ain't like you.
Pyramid schemes doesn't mean that you don't benefit from it. Pyramid schemes is still, there's levels to get to it, but you're never gonna really get to the top. Person?
You can get to the top.
Larry know what I'm talking about. What's that?
Bernie Madoff.
Them Caucasian leggings people. Them people with the leggings, and they were selling. Huh?
You talking about Lululemon?
Not Lululemon. No. And they had like crazy. They got a whole documentary on this whole leggings thing where these ladies was selling these outrageous leggings with hamburgers and all types of crap on them, right?
I didn't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's on A&E or something.
No, what is it called? It's crazy. Y'all gotta watch this documentary. But it was multi-level marketing, but it was a low-key pyramid scheme on the back. And it's similar to Herbalife. I'm not gonna lie, but Herbalife had a really great product. It's better.
A pyramid scheme is like something you said that if you put your money in and you're not doing no work and you're just trying to get people in, that's a pyramid scheme.
Well, you're doing work you got to get people under. So you having them test your product, right? So were we not testing didn't you not have a gallon of your
We're just selling the product though.
Did you not try to sell protein shakes to us in many little shops?
But it's not like you put money in and you're not getting nothing back. if you put in the work, you'll get something back.
Ain't nobody. I'm still chunky.
You talk about something like Bernie Madoff, where he was getting. Hey, that's because you got them carbonated sugars in your body.
I'm still chunky.
Hey, show us that other wall you got. That's why you chunky. You putting them wasted calories in your body.
Listen, I work out to stay the same size, not to grow bigger. That's all. So
a pyramid scheme to me is like with Bernie Madoff, when he was taking people money, saying he was gonna do something for him, and he didn't do nothing.
Your problems. Listen, tomato. If you don't want it, we don't want to incriminate you in your Herbalife.
You can't incriminate. I know a lot of people who are doing good in Herbalife,
but it's anyway, better than what's the other one? What's the other?
I don't know.
What's the other product that people were selling? I mean, and then they stopped. All the black folks is on board. Nutra Slim, Nutra. Yes. NutraBurst. You tried to get that too?
Who me? Nah. I know somebody who was doing it though.
But I can't say your marketing, how you and your cousins did the marketing. Y'all was like, Herbalife marketing to me was on a better level than like any other, like I would say, like fitness type marketing, right?
Yeah, we giving you the products, we working you out, showing you what to do, telling you how to eat, telling you what not to do.
Fake trainers and coaches, I get it, but
no. Hey, look. So years ago, look, I used to train people years ago.
I know.
I took up. I went to Nesta certified to get my personal training license, but I didn't pursue it. So some people don't know what they're doing.
Great product. I was 300 pounds. I'm no longer 300 pounds, and I've maintained without Herbalife. But
but that's where you got your start at.
Jesus.
Through me. But it is some people who start calling themselves trainers who don't know nothing about training.
Y'all had a really good thing.
I ain't gonna lie, but there's some people in there. But
y'all marketing was top tier. I would give you that. But it's still that whole, I mean, back to our subject of Black people not really, having trust issues, but will invest in other things.
Right.
Besides within, our communities, because small products, Herbalife, we can probably, get $500 from somebody and invest in that. You talk about a building. So now we're talking about thousands. Then, I may have questions like, are we all on the deed? Who's paying taxes? So
it's a combination.
Other things.
It's a combination of that trust, and we don't like slow money.
We don't like slow money. We gotta see movement with our investment. Like if we get a building, I may or may not nitpick the painting and want you to move a little bit faster.
Right. Yeah. That's something we got to get out of though.
Yeah.
Because if you look at again, I hate to compare it to white culture, but it's because they set a foundation for a lot of things. They have slow money like crazy. That's the whole definition of old money.
But they're also the biggest white collar.
Yeah.
They have the highest white collar crime rate.
And it's all about time. Like they say, the more time you have to build, the more it's going to grow.
Yeah.
Once again, us as Black folks getting started late in the game, it's like that's why we want a quick return. We're getting started so late. Okay.
Also, we want that reassurance that you're not getting over on us.
Yeah. So I had a guy.
That's the reassurance for us, right? If we invested in a building and it needed work, if I go there every day and I see people working there and they're painting and I see progress, that's reassurance. But if I see y'all out kicking it and the workers in the back eating lunch, drinking water, and drywall ain't up, and you told me, Larry, that I spoke to the contractor and the drywall going up today, but I go there. Nah, you lost my trust. Now I want my money back. I want my money back.
So look, I had a guy I was cutting, and he got a little money, but he wants to put it into something that's like you said, go give him that quick flip. I like, man, just put it in an index fund. I'm trying to tell him he don't want that. Huh?
Put in a high yield savings account. It's not going to grow super fast.
High yield savings, Roth IRA, just put it in there, just stack it. But like once again, he don't want that. He wants something. He want that quick flip. So he started doing trading and got into this trading community. He didn't like that. He started losing money.
Right.
Flip. I'm like, I told him, I said, I don't mess with that trading. No, that's for
I don't like
you
to
can't
lose
make money, but you can lose a lot of money in it too.
I gamble. I play roulette. I bet on every number. I gotta win.
Huh?
You gonna win one, but lose everything else, though.
I know, but I'm gonna get something back. You know what I mean? Or I can bet on both red and black.
No,
And green.
Warren Buffett's most like popular advice is like to not invest fast. Like
Yeah.
he's been investing for over like 60 years, like 70 years.
Yeah.
But
you gotta be able to have the resources to say, I can release this money and not need it back in a year or 2 or even 6 months, right?
This is where we don't have the connection, where we lack the neural pathways of, okay, if you invest slow, that translates to generational wealth because it's going to take generations to build it, you know, if you're doing it properly. But anything you're trying to learn, you're trying to gain fast, you're going to lose it even faster.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you have to apply it to, like, when we talk about reparations. You're just going to give all these black people all this money. We don't have the habit and behaviors in place to make that money stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
you know.
Is that, well, like you said, Renee, you can't take your money with you, but you can leave it to somebody.
I don't want to.
Girl, you crazy, girl. You ain't got no kids. That's why you say that.
I want to have down.
Yeah, you got a kid. But see, you invest slow and let that money grow, especially if you got kids. You leave it to them.
If I had kids, if I adopt kids or whatever, if I had somebody else, husband, whatever, then I would definitely understand where you're coming from, Larry. But when it's just me,
husband though. But yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Kids, whatever, it would be different. Yes, I would be looking on, because one of us got to survive, and I want to make sure that person or the kids or whatever are taken care of. But if it's just me, I'm about to ball out. I mean, especially,
Okay. Huh?
I was gonna say, speaking of that husband, before you hopped on, she said she ordered something. The man brought her a big box and it was too heavy for her.
Yeah.
I said, what is that telling you? You need a man.
So I ordered this cabinet.
Be careful,
I'm
boy.
remodeling my laundry room.
Yeah.
And it was the wrong size. I bought it by accident and I couldn't cancel. So Amazon, they're like, drop it off at UPS. I walk in, the box is big as hell. It's heavy. It really say 2-person on the box, but I'm like, I need to return this. I walk in UPS, the guy see me struggling. He's like, is that Amazon? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can take that all the way to the back. Sir, you see me struggling? No, I printed out the receipt right there and left it there. And I said, hey, watch out, it's heavy, and walked out. Right.
I mean, I got you. I guess this kind of can translate or transition over to relationships. It's hard to have generational wealth when you don't have a generation to pass it down to, if that makes sense.
He said I need a husband because my husband should have took care of that.
I mean, that's a personal choice. That's a hell of a decision.
It is, but what if he was busy, or what if he wasn't able to lift it? We gonna be stuck, right?
Do it together. But what you talking about? Family, Larry. What you mean? What did you just say something about?
Like if I had kids, they would be able to, take it to the back.
No. The transition as far as we're talking about having generational wealth and passing that down. But it's going to be even harder to build generational wealth because a lot of our people don't want to get married anymore either. The relationship, the dating game is all of that is a struggle. And so you can't say, oh, I want to have generational wealth, but then you're not also building a family foundation to have that generation, to pass that generation wealth down to. And so it's hurting us on both sides. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why I never said it. Remember, I'm the one who want to ball out.
I know. But there's just that mentality is picking up, is catching on fire.
It really is. If you notice, a lot of people aren't having kids.
They're not. I mean, they're expensive for one thing. Kids are expensive.
I ain't gonna lie.
A lot of
I
young
wouldn't
people
want to
are
bring a
like, no,
kid in
I
this
don't want
world
to.
now.
Huh?
I wouldn't want to bring a kid in this world now, but a lot of I say that just because I be going down that rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Mm.
You can
Would
call
you?
it that. You can
That's
call
a
it
good
conspiracy
question.
theories, but a lot of them be true. But
That's
we ain't gonna talk. We ain't gonna get on that. We ain't gonna get on that.
not conspiracy theories, but would you, right? If you didn't have kids, would you want to have a kid and bring him into this world right now where we are?
No, I wouldn't.
That's fair, Larry.
No.
Outside of your beliefs and the tools and everything that you can instill in them, they still have to go to the real world, right?
Yeah.
We still have real world problems that they can see on social media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to bring a newborn baby into this, I'm going to say, environment that we have right now?
High, expensive, crazy, everything going on.
I don't know. That's kind of a two-part question. Like, what I plan for? Like, if me and my wife was like, hey, we're gonna plan to have a child,
Yeah.
I would say yes if I had the environment in place, like a
Yeah.
loving family, loving
If you
home.
planned it, then you already have created the,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
just in general, like you got.
Okay, look at it this way. The problem is people are having kids when their own life is not put together. And I'm not saying your life has to be put together, but you want to be at a better position to where
Yeah.
it's not as difficult. That's the problem. Too many people are just, it's easy to make a kid. It's difficult as hell to raise a kid. That's the problem.
Right.
And I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce, so to speak. I mean, too much sauce out there, but whatever.
So
And
Larry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say if me and my wife were on the same page of building a foundation, take care of our child, yes, I would definitely have another child.
Yeah. So how many times you been married, Larry?
I'm married twice.
Would you get married again?
Oh, would you get married again, Larry?
I would. I'm not in a rush to get married again, but I would.
But do you have an issue with commitment?
No.
I want to ask you this, because we talked last Mother's Day about, dating women with kids and the understanding and everything, right? And how you made the comment that you your preference is to date a woman with children because she would understand what you go through as far as with your kids and, scheduling and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
My question to you, and I know we're changing subjects, audience, but we haven't met in a while, so I had to
make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the MPL4 podcast.
Would you still feel the same way if you only had one kid?
Would I still feel the same way if I had one kid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the difference? I don't understand.
I think sometimes when you have more, you have you pull yourself in different directions, right? If you have a middle school student, you have a pre-K person that's in sports, your middle school person's in sports, you have another daughter that's in theater, you have another kid, that's in, church. You're pulling yourself in many different ways. If you have one and they're in sports, say basketball, that's the season, right? So you can speak to that. Oh, it's only just a season. When you have multiple kids, it's like, oh, the season never ends. It's something every month, or they want to join something, they might be in basketball, track, football. They want to play the harmonica, all of those things. So it's never a time where it says, you're dedicated, give me until June, it's you and I. June.
Like dedicated to a relationship?
Yeah. Would you feel differently getting into a relationship with a woman who doesn't have kids if you only have one?
No, I still feel the same. If she doesn't have kids and I have one kid, I would still probably not date her.
Okay.
And it's nothing against them. Like, we could actually meet, have a good time, maybe be good friends. There's still a missing element there that is relatable to parenting. Now, I'm not saying that we couldn't get married and she'd be an amazing stepmom and we have kids, whatever that is. But it's something that I probably would be opposed to in the beginning. Dating a woman who doesn't have kids, even if I have one kid.
What if your kids were older?
Now, my kids were older, like say, 16 or older? Okay, then yeah, I would date because my kids are on their way to reaching adulthood and being on. So it's almost as if like you're being single again, technically.
I have another question for Leon. Or both of you guys with kids. Are you guys expecting your kids to go to college?
I mean, I got one in college now.
Okay.
Like you got 4 kids, right?
I got 5.
5. Okay.
My oldest is in college at Clemson.
What?
Yeah.
Is that Roll Tide? Is that Roll Tide?
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I don't know.
What'd you say, Larry?
She said it's Clemson Roll Tide.
From Oregon.
Oh yeah, she's from Oregon. No, she don't know. No, Clemson Tigers.
You an Oregon Duck.
Right. Like if I don't know anything outside of a duck, I don't know. So
Clemson Tigers. And Roll Tide is
Alabama.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear people say I was gonna throw out anything. When I heard Crimson, I thought of red. So
Oh no, it's orange.
Clemson.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway,
no worries.
Are you guys expecting your children to go to college?
I think mine is half and half. Like, because I strongly believe in formal education, but also informal education. Like, if they want to go to college, I'm definitely going to support them on that. But I don't want them to go to college and be struggling and building up debt and, having $100,000 in debt, nothing to show for it, or getting a degree and still trying to pay back $100,000. Like, as being a parent, it's our job to be like, hey, there's a lot that, that's coming your way when you get into college. I mean, because I've been on that. And so I think it's definitely a case by case.
Right.
Now, I feel that they don't want to go to college. We need to sit down and talk about what the backup plan is.
Right.
Yeah. Like a real.
What about you?
I particularly do not. I ain't gonna say I don't want my daughter to go to college. Like Larry said, I can't see her getting all that student loan debt. Hey, look, what's the thing going on now? Everybody trying to get out of their student loan debt. So why would you want to put your kid in that same situation?
Right.
They say student loan, not student tuition. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know about college, but anyway, it's for like $40,000 now a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is crazy, and that's for in-state.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I don't want it. I don't want to go, but I do. I always constantly every day. Of course, y'all know I'm always, even Larry. Yeah. I'm always trying to think of something to build. So by the time they get out of school, but most of the time kids they want to do what they want to do as far as, and then you don't want to put things on kids, and you want to kind of let them go their own route, but long as it's productive.
Of course.
And like Larry said, as long as you don't want to get in that debt and you had nothing to show for it and you're struggling. I don't want.
How do you feel about putting your kids out after 18?
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that. No.
Seen it happen too much.
Yeah. But if they stay in the house, you just got to make sure they're working. They being productive.
It needs to be.
Would you make them pay bills?
Yeah,
I would.
I do my girls like that now. Not pay bills, but they had their little money. Sometimes let's go here, let's go there. You spending your own money.
I know.
I mean, it's nothing big, but trying to teach them like this money is going.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
really want to
yeah.
spend it on this, you know?
Very
Sometimes
important point.
they want to spend it on something they don't really need, but they really want it. So, all right, you spending your own money. Just try to
Yeah.
teach
Yeah,
them lessons.
yeah, yeah. I want my kids to have more of real world experience as possible, but not. I don't want them to. They're gonna struggle, but I
Exactly.
want
How are
them
you
to.
gonna allow them to fall? Like I
The,
was
the
I was
thing
getting my own cell phone bill at 18,
Right.
yeah,
17, had my
right,
own
right.
cell phone and house phone. I had a little teen line, I had a little pager, little teen line, all that.
And
Paid
some
them.
people do say sometimes you can hold a kid so long when they get out there, they don't know what to do. That they
Well,
don't know.
that's because you handicap them. That's
Right.
the problem.
Handicap. Right.
You don't want to do that. The thing is, you want to be able to have them grow and learn, but know that they have a support system that's
Mm-hmm.
not abandoning them.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of kids, and there's so many broken homes because of just poor communication. You have a parent and a kid who arguing, and then the parents are like, all right, then we'll get out there. And the kid is like, all right, I'm gonna go. And then
Mm-hmm.
they out there going at like 16, 17, trying to do what they can. And they're struggling for what? Because of
Right.
poor communication, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
you want to be an adult so fast, and you get out there in the world and you realize it's not what you thought it was. So as a parent, I would say the most important part is just having those daily conversations off and on with your kids about, the world is, as you grow up, the world is going to get more and more harder. It's not going to get softer. And the world is not fair just because you're a nice person. They're not going to treat you fairly because you're trying to be nice.
Right.
Like they need to have way more critical thinking skills than formal educational skills, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Is there a
So
cutoff?
cut off or what? Like
How
the
long you
get the
would allow them to stay with you? Like some I've heard,
I say about 25.
25, I've heard 30, I've heard,
I
until they
don't
want to
know.
leave.
It's got to be a point where like they feel like, okay, I can go do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they want to get out there, start small, get a car, get an apartment. Who knows? They might get into a relationship and it gets serious.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts to progress and mature. It's a case by case basis, I think.
Right.
But
But what if you
for
don't
me,
see any movement? When do you have that conversation?
now that's the thing. If I don't see, that's what we need to start talking about at like 15 or 16.
Right.
You don't want your kid to be like 23 years old, but they don't have no aspirations, no purpose, no guidance.
They're
That's
just
where
still
you
working.
that's where you fail as a parent because it's like you've handicapped them to the point where they now expect you to continue raising them. That's the problem. And
Mm-hmm.
I see that.
I saw a clip on IG. This lady, she was talking about how I think was it twins or two girls that was close in age, 22, 23, 24, 5, whatever they were. And she said she gave them 2 months to get out of her house. Like said they had to go do something. Said they weren't
Dang.
doing anything. She said as soon as she put them out, one of them they got an apartment, and one of them got a car, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I guess she had to put them out for them to see that they can do it on their own, you know.
That's not a bad thing. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can put them out and they could be doing right and they hit a wall and they got to come back home. That's okay. I think that's okay
I
because
think
you
that's
need,
okay.
yeah,
But
you
I
need
need
to
to
be able
know,
to tell your child
if you
that
hit
you're
a
competent.
wall, what did you do? Like, yes, we've all been there where it's like, oh, rent is coming up and I got fired. You know what
Sure.
I mean?
Yeah,
Did you come to me and say, hey, did you apply at a couple jobs that say, I'm getting some callbacks and
Right.
maybe I might be able to pay your rent the next couple months, or
yeah.
do you have a little savings and I can add to that? Like when I moved and got my own place, and I know, my friends are like, oh, well, you're lucky. My mom paid my first 3 months and bought my furniture. It was
Mm.
like, that's all you getting from me. I got you a bed, I got you, a little futon, whatever situation, a TV, all that. Pays your
There's
3 months.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you getting you. letting your kid get a jump start on something, you know?
Right.
Pay my deposit, all that. She paid everything for me to get in, and then 3
Yeah,
months was like,
yeah, yeah.
you gotta.
There's nothing
You took it from there. Look at you now.
I know, but you remember I started paying bills in high school. I had 2 jobs because I
It's
went to
good.
fly.
That's
I had 2
good.
jobs in high school. I worked at Fred Meyer so I can get paid every Friday, and then I worked at Foot Action so my shoes would be, I can get a discount on my shoes and be fly every Monday.
Yeah.
Speaking of that clip that I sent y'all, that lady who, what she said, she put her kids in the CPS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like said she couldn't take care of them. She was stressed out and all that.
How many kids was it? I forgot how many. Was it 3?
I
I
think
think
so.
about 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That was
That's tough, man.
that's about what you was talking about last time, Renee. When the girl
Yeah.
dropped you off at the
And
fire
people
station.
were like, oh, well, why would she do that? She's a deadbeat mom. Is she? Is she, though?
Yeah.
I think a deadbeat mom would be putting her kids in a situation that they shouldn't be in, or, getting evicted in a car or car getting, repossessed and they out on the street or whatever. To me, that's more deadbeat than saying, hey, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Can I, what can I do? To me.
Some of the issues that I think our generation is like it's right on that we're right in the middle between that old school traditional and then new school modern, whatever they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so our generation is kind of the last ones to teach critical thinking and resiliency.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I'm gonna read a book, learn the formulas, and that's all I'm gonna do. Our generation was, hey, this is a situation I never had before, but I gotta figure it out. There's no other option,
Right.
And
Right.
so for the old girl with the kids, like I get it. She got to a point where she had to take action before it got to a point she couldn't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
tough one. Some people are so prideful that they will go down with the ship.
Right. There's that. Or, I think it was another article where the girl was like, she dropped her kid off to the dad and never came back. And they was like, oh, you're a deadbeat mom. What? So it's history of men just leaving the kid. But all of a sudden, I think it's D.L. Hughley said, Black people are the most critical amongst each other. We are so critical amongst each other and the first ones to go against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And when that woman did that, and she said, so what? I needed a break. How come I can't deserve a break away from my kids? Why does he get to automatically get praised because he's providing child support and he's getting the kid every other weekend and I'm here and the kid is full-time with me? I need a break.
But that's something we have to think about before we do what we do.
But a lot of times you don't know, right? Because you're together, you're happy, you're excited, and things happen. And you go your own separate ways and you end up with the kid. And maybe you feel like you got it. You're the mom, you're the motherly instincts. Again, there's the stigma. The kid stays with the mom. The kid always stays with the mom. The mom has to figure it out.
Right. Agreed.
This woman said, nah, roles reversed. You ain't even got to step away. I'm going to drop the kid off to you and I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay you child support. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't. He's stable. He has his own place. He takes care of the kid very well when the kid, is there. How come I can't get that break?
Well, I think a lot of mothers put a social burden on each other. I think more dads would step up and take care of their kids if moms did not ridicule each other for making that choice.
Right. So it goes back to what DL said. As Black people, we are the most critical and we go against the first to go against each other. It was crazy because it was so many women in the comments saying, she was wrong and how come she didn't go and ask for help if she needed it and why would she drop her kid off? And she was like, I'm going on vacation. I think
it's really on both of them. Both of them should want to
she left and went to the Bahamas. She dropped the kid off and went on vacation and said, I need a break. I'm done.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people, like, even with the what you call it, co-parenting, like
Mm-hmm.
you should talk and be like, look, keep the kid. I need a break. You know, you keep. Some people do like 2 weeks at a time or a weekend at a time, and this and that. But
That's if you on those terms.
that's what I'm saying. If you're on them terms, you got to be on them terms. Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
all.
be on the terms.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. She was like
Mm.
3-4 years in. She was like,
Yeah.
I think with the big thing on mental health and protecting your peace and doing all these things that are now in the plan, there's different programs and resources that you can. I think a lot of women and some men are seeing it. I've seen men that says, I got my kid. I
Yeah.
I wanted my kid.
Yeah.
So
A lot
okay,
of times they've been coming to stepping up saying, I told her to have the baby and she'll need to be around. I take care of my kid.
yeah. So this is the advice I give a lot of dads that makes fatherhood easy. Well, easy but not hard to do is
Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm talking about from a positive aspect. Both mom and dad, they're just not together.
Right.
Dad needs to try his best to match mom's energy when it
Mm-hmm.
comes. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about how mom is handling everything. Dad needs to try to at least be right there with her. Like, you know your kids' teachers, know your kids' doctors, know what their food allergies are. There are so many dads who don't know what is going on with their own kids. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They just let mom take care of that. And I got it. We look at moms as, mom is the nurturing parent. But no, fatherhood is also nurturing and providing as well. And that's where a lot of guys fail to see that. And it's like, you can be a dad that is involved, like be involved. Because I always say motherhood is passive. It never turns off. It's always on.
Mm-hmm.
Fatherhood to be active. You have to be actively engaging with our
Right.
kids. But fatherhood, if father stepped up and they use mom as like a gauge or measuring, like, okay, what's mom doing? Like, I can at least try to match her energy. Because guess what? If something happens to mom, you're gonna be taking care of your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
you need to prepare yourself for that. You need to be as involved. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at my relationships like that. Like, if anything happens to me, I can completely 100%. I know my kids are gonna be fine. But I've also had the conversations with my kids' moms that I know if anything happens to them, they know the kids are gonna be fine with me. Like, you need to be on that level of co-parenting. Like I said, easy, but not. It's hard to do. Easy, but not hard to do.
Mm-hmm. So
I
Hard
guess,
to.
and I
you
guess
think that
it shouldn't be no excuse because for you doing that. What is it? Is it 3 or 4
What's that? Kids?
different
his
moms?
five. Oh,
No, they got 5 kids, but
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I got 5 kids from 4 different women, and so, but I have those conversations with them. Like, I'm
he
very
Right.
active.
a bunch of a good crop, as my mom would
I'm
say,
not
baby.
gonna lie. I did
You
not have
are tripping.
kids from women that were not like, they didn't have a motherly nature. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
They were. I was the issue. Not gonna lie, I was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's what I'm saying. My mom would say a good crop.
Yeah, yeah. Real. But
I mean,
that's what I tell dads, man, to make it a little easier. Like, when you see mom do, you see how mom is engaged with your child. You can do that as well. Do not just write it off and just say, "Oh, well, I'll let mom do it, do all of that." No, man, take your kids to your doctor's appointments. Don't just take them to sporting events. Take
Right.
yeah.
your kids, show up at PTA meetings, talk to the teachers, engage. Like, it has to mean something to you. Be intentional about your fucking fatherhood. Excuse me. Be intentional about it.
Yeah, he got mad
Like,
about
I'm,
that.
I
I'm
get
here for
passionate about that,
the
man.
role switch. I'm here for the role switch. That's why I was
Yeah,
just like, this is crazy that I see Black women tearing this woman down. She
Yeah.
said she was tired. Now we see other women and people going on vacation, leaving their kids in hotel rooms or in the house by themselves.
yes,
Could have
yes,
easily did that.
yep, yep, yep.
Now, Larry, you say
Anyway,
you was married twice,
Yeah.
and that, but you you have family, but you're not married no more. So what do you think the difference is between marriage and family?
Well, for me, like, when you are married, I think there's a difference between your marriage and your family. So when
Who
I
said
say
what you mean by that? Yeah, go ahead.
so when I say family, I'm talking about me, the wife, the kids. When I'm talking about marriage, just me and my wife. That's
Okay.
what I'm talking about. The problem is there's a lot of issues where if it's you or your wife, if y'all are not on the same page in that definition, you're gonna have issues. Because in one of my marriages, I wanted to have marriage time, but my wife at the time, she only saw family time. And so the marriage starts diminishing because it's not being nurtured, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so you
Because
have to be
you're praying to everybody else except for both of you guys,
Married.
which is how
right,
it's.
right. It's like, hey, let's go do some marriage stuff, just us. And
Mhm.
then her question would be like, well, what are the kids are gonna do? Can the kids like? Because kids will dictate your marriage if you don't control it.
Oh
Because you're
yeah.
gonna say, let's go do some stuff, but then you have to check and see if the event is friendly. Is there gonna be child care? Like that could be your whole relationship if you let it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so there's a separation between marriage and like the family aspect of it. You know, that's what
So you have your date nights.
you should. You should have date nights. You
Leon, you
know,
have date nights?
That's what I was trying to think of. You said it, date nights. Yeah, we
You have
have.
date nights?
I guess you can call it date nights. We go to different places. Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess it's easier when the kids are older too, though.
Yeah, that's very true. Y'all pick a day like Thursdays. We gonna go to, we gonna go somewhere to ourselves. You gonna go out to eat, restaurant. I don't
Not
know.
necessarily like that. We just find something,
Mhm.
comedy show, or
important, man. As long as it's y'all, man. As long as it's y'all, yeah, it's important. As long as it's you and wife, you go and doing some stuff. You
Yeah,
know, because you'll
I,
be like, hey, let's go to a movie, and then it's just like you got to bring the kids.
I think
yeah.
that's true in relationship building too. A lot of times you find yourself trying to figure things out if you have, kids or, maybe family, maybe you taking care of your mom. You still want to nurture if you feel the relationship is good enough, you want to continue to nurture that relationship too. And you want to kind of figure out what works best for the both of you guys if you guys have a lot of other things going on in your
Yeah,
relationship.
I agree. Because it has to be both parents have to be on the same page. And so y'all need to figure out, okay, what we're gonna do as marriage, what we're gonna do as parents, and y'all have to work as one. But if you have one person who's focusing on marriage and another person focused on family, it's gonna be conflict because you're not gonna really see eye to eye on things.
Right.
Because
Right.
one person is gonna be just focusing on kids, and another person is gonna be focusing on you on the marriage aspect of it, and it's gonna be chaos. And I've been through that. I went through that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good feeling, you know. And the thing is that you're both not wrong. You're just not in sync. That's the problem. I mean, like that's the issue. You're not wrong for thinking about marriage. She's not wrong for thinking about family. You're just not in sync. You're out of sync. That's the only issue.
Mm.
It could be fixed.
It could be
If you
fixed.
catch it early enough.
So
Say
you said you weren't the person that you are now in your previous marriages,
that
right?
again.
You mentioned that you were not the person you are now in your previous marriages. You was for the streets.
Correct.
You was for the streets. Do you feel any of your previous wives or girlfriends are upset that maybe possibly your new girl's getting the better version of you?
No,
Mm.
no,
You are tripping.
Huh?
no. And the reason why I don't think that is because we've always stayed in contact. We've always because we have kids, and
Mm-hmm.
so there has been healing throughout that time. You know,
Okay.
there's been closure throughout that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
just the past is the past. You know, but
mm-hmm.
it's they're more excited because I'm a better father now too. I'm way more present too. So that's one thing that has been uh, a huge benefit for
Okay.
everybody.
See, I'm here to ask the questions that they probably been thinking, but Denver didn't really say. Because I'm a neutral party. I don't
Yeah,
have no sides and no sides. But I'm, I think it's a
yeah.
valid question. I mean,
It's a valid question.
That's the thing. It's like for me, when I talk to guys about the modified gentleman, like in defining what masculinity looks like to them, like at the core of it, it is not about masculinity, it's about maturity. That's
right.
what it is about. And I mean that's what it is.
Like, has any one of them had an issue? Because now the version of you is totally different than what their experience was with you.
Nah, because that would show that they hadn't moved on or they hadn't healed or some type of pettiness there, and none of that exists. Yeah.
You say that.
No, trust me, I'm positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
You don't know Rene.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not doing no Nick Cannon going from house to house.
Whatever.
None of that.
That could be the same with you, Leon. You know, who knows? Maybe, you know, in your prior life when you was outside, people see you now, you know,
What?
you're a business owner. I mean, you probably, you know, was already about your money, but you know, on a legal scale now, right? Family, you know, you're in church, choir, praise team, all the things.
You got to grow up sometime.
They didn't get that version of you. You know, some people can be upset. Was like, why I get the fuck boy? You know what I'm saying? Or they can throw out there like, I helped, I played a part in that growth because you had to mature.
We ain't talking about me. Let's talk about you.
It could go even for me. Somebody, you know, they can be like, oh, well, she wasn't right when she was with me, but now she's.
Hey, the clock is ticking too. So.
Oh man, yeah.
How old are you, Rene?
Don't worry about it.
I'm one of them ones. I don't. That's stuff about. Don't ask a woman their age. I ain't know.
You did that. Remember, we talked to Mavis, and you threw that out there. We had a conversation.
Yeah.
Mavis,
You know, I'm gonna ask a woman their age. I don't get that. Where did that come from? Where did it come from?
It's the same thing. Don't be reaching in my pocketbook.
Man, what etiquette? Who made that up, man?
Age.
Why? She's a person.
Hey, that came from women, like older women and younger women.
Insecurity?
It's not even that. It's stay out my business.
Man, come on. That's a woman.
I don't go through your cell phone.
Man.
This is the same thing. Exactly. Clock is ticking. Boy, get out of here. I'm green chicken. That's just what it is.
Well, that was a good conversation, y'all.
It was. It was a great conversation. Oh, y'all gotta go visit Scrim Shack. Y'all, I'm like the poster for Scrim Shack now. Y'all see my reel?
I seen my boy. I seen it. Yeah, I seen my boy Derek over there. I gotta go. I gotta make it. I gotta make it over there this weekend. I keep saying I'm gonna make it. I got to go. I got to go. I just don't think about it when I leave. I just be ready to
go. Y'all tell them Rene sent you.
Yeah. Called a what? What?
Scrim Shack in Durham.
Scrim Shack.
All right.
Come on, Larry. Let's go over there. What you
got
doing?
Huh? You got her on IG? They got IG page?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She was on us. We had her on the show about a little while ago.
Yeah. I'm friends with Mr. Chaz on Facebook now. He ain't got can't dodge me.
Look it up.
Y'all trying to get some perks. Black on. We didn't know it was black on. It's under new management. Y'all gotta go.
I'm going.
Check it out. Take your family. Tell them Rene sent you so they can see them numbers rise up.
If y'all listening, check out the Scrim Shack. Mavis Peaks is the owner in Durham, North Carolina.
Check it out. Food is amazing.
Yes. All right, that's it. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Impel Forward podcast.
Yes.
Yo, I appreciate y'all. Always a good show.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you when we be on again.
Yes.
Until the next time, seize the opportunity to grasp your dreams. Peace.
Peace.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.